Hey guys, Romie here, so please like, comment, subscribe. This is my view for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 10. Yes, 10 seasons. Episode 2. It's called Say Yes to Distress. Now, apparently the season premiere was down almost like 2 million views. And initial views. I know they may back up as far as DVR and all of that, so that's definitely something. But people just trying to make sure that they could go and watch the show when it first started, which is really important for advertisers and stuff, was down. And it was down by a lot. So when you see how the first episode was, you would understand why. And then with the second one, I said, why are we getting this type of episode? I get it. It's to build. I hope it's to build for something great, because right now I'm looking at this like, no. No. I appreciate the fact that it feels like a real show, but like a real regular reality show, but that's not what we wanted for this particular franchise. And the taglines are back. Let's first start off with the taglines are back. And Candy says something about, she's the boss. That could get you fired. I said, oh, okay, yeah. Phaedra's gone. Kenya's saying how, people said that she couldn't get a man, so she has a husband. Portia said something. Cynthia says something about, even though she's older, whatever the case may be. Nene, I don't know. So let's move on. But the taglines are back. That's all that matters. They just want to do something different for the season premiere. We see that Cairo, he's there. He made some interesting pancakes. I said, oh, okay. Kenya, she's there. She's still there separate from her husband because her husband's in New York. And he also doesn't want to film. So there's also that. Cynthia, she's in her house. She's in the tub. Of course, she looks good. I said, wait a minute. Where did that brush go? Because at one point, the brush disappeared. And Cynthia was just I said, what are we, what, hold on. And then I rewinded. I said, where did, and then I rewinded. But anyway, Cynthia's still in her. She's dating. She's excited. Even though she's okay with being single, she doesn't necessarily want to be. So she's definitely open to dating. It starts off with Portia. Then it's next with Portia having this conversation with her mom. Yes, her mom is back. And it was funny because Portia was doing this like generic, oh yeah, I stopped eating X, Y, and Z because of, oh, okay, there, she's finally here. Let's go downstairs. Oh. So Lauren is there as well as her brother because Lauren's going to move in with her. It's been a while, but they're going to have a great time. Portia's still upset. Well, Portia said, her and Candy, things are okay. Candy was cool, so she's cool, and that's how they're taking their relationship. Nene, on the other hand, that's a problem because Nene was saying that, she needed to go. And yes, she didn't use the word fired, but yes, she needed to go, and so did Phaedra. And she has a huge problem with that because why would a friend do that to her? And essentially she's like, you know what? Forget friends. This is what family's for. Cynthia, on the other hand, she goes on this date. And we see chickens. I said, what's going on here? So we see chickens. And we also see the staircase. So she calls the guy, making sure that she's at the right place. What's the guy's name? Dang it. So anyway, we're going to call him Norbert because that's what she feels like he looks like. He gives her a blindfold and it's for a photo shoot. I know he owns a studio, so I guess it was cool to see how it's all run. But I'm thinking, so you asked this model to go on a date. You own a photo studio. You're taking pictures of her to start it off. Are we playing games here? Who's selling those pictures? Are those just for her? For your private collection? I don't know. But Cynthia was thrown off by that as well. But she was like, this dude is basically Norbert with swag. I said, why are you doing this to this man? Anyway, he takes her to a separate room. It's to his office. And he has it set up. And it's nice. And they sit down. And Cynthia makes it very clear that she didn't know that he was 29. He just turned 29, by the way. When she met him, he was 28. He was turning 29 a couple of days. It's such a young thing to say. And since she's 50 now, she's just like, look, originally I thought that you were at least over 30, like 32, maybe 33, because that's how you were introduced to me. So Cynthia wants to put it out there that you're cool, you're great, but we're going to be friends. You hear me? We're going to be friends. That's how it's going to be. He was like, oh, so maybe we can be friends. Yeah, we can be friends. And when we could be friends, two friends. And they toast. I said, dude, You're just gonna have to take that for what it is. Sheree went to therapy. You remember how we were telling Sheree to go to therapy for years, and she was telling us, "Oh, we're the ones with the problem, not her." And then slowly she finally accepted the fact that, "Oh, I may have some real issues too." And then since her stuff was exposed last year, she figured, look, at this point, she got herself a life coach. So shout out to Sheree for that. And she tells him about her main issue is that for 10 years she was holding on to the fact that she was in an abusive relationship, verbal, psychological, and with a little bit of physical, but it was mainly the other two. And she was just, and she also let me know that she still hasn't spoken to her kids about it. And now we're going to see how that is all going to pan out, because her therapist said, don't talk to the kids yet. Give yourself some time, get some friends, try it out with them. Some friends that you trust and you're comfortable enough with, saying your story. And because it'll feel like you're telling it to your kids, because it's like talking to people who know you, and you're like, oh, I don't want them to look at me a certain way. So I said, that's good advice. Okay, you can keep him. I think this will actually work. I'm thinking, Ayana, Sheree wasn't ready. Sheree was not ready. That's what it was. Now Kenya, she's there at the lake with Cynthia, and Kenya's just so happy because she's like, she loves her dude, but because Cynthia did throw in there how, oh, so your dogs weren't in there, so at least we're all on the same accord, since I didn't get an invite either. Well, it's great. We're in was it St. Martin or St. Lucia? Either way, she had a great time. She said it was perfect there. We come back, and since his business is in New York, he's in New York. I'm here in Atlanta, and the main issue is that people have all the things to say about, oh, she can't keep a man. Oh, she must be paying this man. Oh, she can't be really married. Oh, it has to be a stunt. Oh, this, all of that. And it hurts because he, it's starting to affect him. He's a private person. He's an actual just business owner. He's not trying to become famous. And apparently Chef Roble set it all up. He knew this guy, sent Kenya. Because, when you have a friend, you want to hook up the friends like, I got this girl. And no. Forget about what you heard about her. She's A1. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to get her to come here. You go and just introduce yourself. And then I'll see what I can do. If you like it, then we can make this work. I feel like that's what really happened, and Kenya just didn't know it. But she said Chef Roble's name like 10 times. Shout out to her for the free promotion. But I thought it was interesting that she didn't say her husband's business. I don't know if Bravo said until we see his face on our cameras that he can't say anything about his business, or maybe he didn't want people to actually show up to his business and say, like, oh, so you're the dude that's married to Kenya. Where's Kenya's husband? We want to see him now. Because people do stupid stuff like that. Anyway, Shamia, she's getting married in Africa, and she's inviting everyone, well, mostly, almost everyone. Candy and her have gotten close, so we see over the years how they got close versus it's been the opposite with her and Portia. But Sheree's also there, and what does Sheree say? Sheree's not going, but Candy is. Portia apparently isn't going because Portia said, the tickets are ridiculous, something like 10,000 or whatever, but the ticket prices were just ridiculous and through the roof when she did it. Candy's saying, well, I did it for 5,000. I mean, what, she tried to do it last minute? I'm thinking, so Portia, if you got $20,000 to spend on a bag, but you don't have 10,000 and maybe an extra 5 to go to Africa and have fun with your friend, there's a problem. So stop playing with us. But then she says, oh, there's actually something else having to do with her health. Sheree said that she's going to go and play nice with Shamia because she was carrying the bones last year, and she's not trying to do that anymore. I appreciate that. So then we get back to Portia. Portia's going to be a baby vegan, meaning she's going to slowly work her way into it. Shout out to the producers for showing Portia eat a whole, meat-filled meal last week. No, was it last week or last night? Production is so messed up. Let's see. But anyway, she is telling her sister that last week. Okay, so it was last week. And she was going ham. She was. Lauren is there because everyone essentially in her family, they eat healthier. Portia was the last one to kind of realize, I want to be here for a long period of time and continue to look a certain way, so I can't just put anything in my body. And I forgot what it was, what documentary she saw, because my cousin brought it up to me. It was one of those food documentaries kind of showing what meat does to the insides of your body. Just like sugar. You shouldn't really be eating sugar like that, because sugar just fights your body. It gives you energy, but for the most part, it fights your body internally. That's why you get those problems if you don't back off of it after a while. But anyway, it's funny because I actually, because of dietary issues and digestive issues, I eat fish, but I don't eat anything else. Like pork, beef, lamb, turkey. No. I don't eat any dairy or anything that has dairy in it, period. I mean, I'm serious. If it wasn't for the fish, I'd definitely be vegan, because I don't even eat other stuff with animal byproducts in it. Anyway, Kenya, she's on the phone with Brandon because she's just saying, and she starts crying. It's so hard for her to be there and be separated from her man. Her man is getting all these texts from these ex saying that, she was with this guy and she used to do this, she used to do that. Essentially, Kenya's past, whether it was real or a rumor, is coming back to bite her and mess with her relationship, and it's hard. And then, because then she gets off the phone with him and then starts talking to production how, like, he doesn't want to go and do this with me, go and do that with me. He calls me up and he's upset. And I'm saying, so is this guy not mature enough to be with someone in the limelight who hasn't had the best reputation? Because that's the issue. There's just so many things out there about Kenya that, regardless if any of them are true or not, they're out there. So someone who doesn't really know you should be open to accepting you. That's my problem now, because I believe that Kenya wants to have a great relationship and a solid one. So I'm not even going to put this on her, because you can't go and really convince someone to feel differently once they see something. It's up to them to say, you know what, regardless of what people are saying, regardless of what my mother's saying, regardless of all of them, if I love her, we're going to be in this. That is us. Forget the paparazzi, forget all those other people. But it kind of irked me when she said, the paparazzi, they just don't leave you alone. That's part of the reason why you continue to stay on the level that you're at, because there are some people who are like, what's going on with Kenya? That aids, unfortunately, that does aid in, stardom. So, but aside from that, I understood where Kenya was coming from. Honestly, I feel bad that I feel like now she does have a real relationship, and like a real solid relationship, and it may not work because of the fact that her past, and she's just, famous and all of that. But I'm not going to pretend like I'm like, oh my God. No, I felt nothing. Oh, that kind of contradicts what I just said. I felt nothing as far as, like, I understood why I should feel bad, but I didn't. Is that bad? I didn't, because it wasn't even on Kenya. It was just on her dude. If we're getting the full picture, because he's not on here, so we can't get the full picture. That's the other thing. Anyway, so we get to Candy. Candy's at home, and Sheree comes over, because remember, Sheree's supposed to do this whole thing with her, sit down with her friends. She can't do it because her kids are back at home for the summer. So now she has her friends come over, and the bone carrying gang. I said, oh my God, sure. So this is where it came from. Okay. So they all sit down, and Sheree was like, I don't know how to even start this. So Candy did it. She said, all right, guys, there's a really serious subject that I want to talk to you guys about. I know that you guys have heard about some things about me and your dad in the media, and I wanted to let you know that if there's anything that you wanted to ask me, then, go ahead. And so then that's when Sheree's friend was like, so when, you said dad was mean to you or emotionally abusive, he cracks jokes and all of that. So, are you sure he wasn't just joking and just being kind of rude? It's like there's a difference between joking and being disrespectful and putting someone down and all of that. And then eventually Sheree took over, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, we don't want to see this, but this is real. This is actually real. This is Sheree giving off real emotions, not just going and hearing other people stop and running to them and doing this and hearing people stop and running to them and doing that. No, this is realness at its core. So I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Just like with Cynthia. Noelle, she actually likes, what is it? She actually likes being where Peter is. And she likes it so much. She has a boyfriend down there, but she was like, the city is just so cool that she could see herself being down there. And Cynthia just has to accept the fact that her daughter's growing up. But Cynthia also lets her daughter know she's been dating a 29-year-old man. Noelle said, okay, let's do the math. So he was technically 28 when you met him. If you minus that by 3, you double his age. I said, why are you doing that to your mother on national TV? The daughters always do that to the moms on these shows. Like, Riley's probably the one that does it the least because she normally says the least. But, and it's interesting, we haven't really seen her. It's only been episode 2, and maybe she has, like, some stuff going on, so that'd be cool, but I just realized we haven't seen her yet. Now it's time for Shermia's bridal party or bridal shower, and everyone shows up. I mean, everyone that she's actually close to and invites shows up. By the time that Portia came with Lauren, like, hi, Candy wasn't here for the fakeness, so she got up and left. I said, okay, that's real. She goes to Shamia, and Shamia's event is great. They have these games where one was you have this container and it has balls, and you basically have to shake your butt, move your body, move your waist until the balls go flying out. The person with the least amount of balls wins. And then there was another one where they tied wieners to the ladies, and then they had to go and land a wiener in a hole for. And Shamia said, Sheree, this is something you can do. Sheree said, you did. You right? All right. Where? Who? What? Where? When? Yes, let's go for it. Absolutely amazing. So now when Shamia goes over to the ladies, kind of going over everything and saying, she brought up the fact that she was a little surprised that Portia made it to an event of hers. She was really happy, but she was a little surprised. Portia was upset because she's saying, I'm your friend. Why wouldn't I make your event? Candy and Carmen it was really Carmen that was just like, yeah, she can't go on that plane ride. I mean, $10,000. You really can't do that for a friend. Wait a minute. What about this girl who, because they said what disease she had. Start with a V. It was like, what's this with this disease? And she's like, for low blood pressure. Low blood pressure? Shamia said, look, I'm sorry. I know you told me about that, but I didn't want to read the link. I was just really irritated. And I said, okay, that's real, though. That's real. So then Portia got upset. Wait, but we're supposed to be friends. And, I have a medical condition. Remember I passed out? We all remember. That was serious. We all remember. And you're saying that you didn't really care to go and look up to see what happened with me. And I'm thinking, are you about to have a Candy moment? Like, calm down. So then Carmen was just over there like, yeah, she can't just sit. Because then Portia talked about how she can't be in, coach and lay back and coach. She needs to go. And I said, okay, if it's a long flight and it's cramped, I understand. But you tell me you can't afford to go and be there for your friend and you have multiple jobs? We're not telling you to spend on something dumb. This is important. This is something you actually want to be there for. Unless you don't. If you're saying, right now, I really don't want to go and do all that, that's hurtful. But at least it's better than making these excuses, because that's why everyone's nitpicking at you. Because we're looking at this and saying, this doesn't make sense for a friend, a good friend. And you can, if you really wanted to, figure something out. But if you're saying, okay, I was just waiting for her to say blood clots, because if she says something like that, I would say, okay, got it. All right, done. We're not all right, got it, understood. But unless you tell me that you no blood clots or something like that, or if you don't move around with a certain period of time, you can pass out. That's what I need to hear. Not, oh, well, I have this thing and the low blood pressure, and there's ways to get that up. There is definitely ways to get that up. So then she goes and she leaves with Lauren, and why did Carmen say that? Oh, what about your legs up in the, she's not used to all of this unless her legs are up in the air on the planet. I'm thinking, why are you even doing all that? I get it because this can't, but that's always been my issue. This is too much. Unless you're saying to that person directly, doing all this side chat. How old are we? No, really, how old are we? Because I'm about to hurt some people's feelings. This is old. I don't care if it's Portia or not. I just don't like that type of I'm not. When you're doing that, it wasn't even you that was okay. It was your friend, but your friend's not telling you to defend her or say some stuff. All right. So then Portia's trying to leave, and she's having the conversation outside with Shamia, and we get to the bottom of it. Portia doesn't really care to talk to Shamia about something unless Shamia sees her side and understands why she feels a certain way. Shamia's saying, we're friends. We're friendships been weak for a while, but we're still friends, so why can't you go and be there for me? It just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And Portia said, no, I can't really talk about this or really look at your side right now. It's like, oh, okay, then that's it. Lauren has to go and pick up the baby. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I can't believe I talked this long for a filler.